Most of us are doubters in life, and it takes a few believers like a Henry Ford, and I don't want to compare my father with the Henry Ford, but he pulled something off that people thought was not possible.
Here was all this potential. We had the perfect grapes, the perfect climate, the perfect soil to produce world-class sparkling wines, and it was something that hadn't really been done.
Willie wanted to sort of show his dad that he could also produce great wine. He knew there was a niche of premium sparkling wine because Constantine never made champagne or sparkling wine at his cellars. He only made table wines there.
We were the first traditional method sparkling winery using vinifera varieties, so the European species of grape.
And Willie's dream was to produce premium sparkling wines, and he was looking for the perfect cellar. It was built in 1886 from local fieldstones by the Argus family. It was one of the first wineries in New York State. And this stone cellar was ideal for the long-term aging of sparkling wines, which need a constant cool, humid, dark environment. So this was the perfect facility.
I planted a vineyard to the classic French Champagne grape varieties, and that is the Pinot Noir, the Chardonnay, and the Pinot Meunier.
The early days at Chateau Franc were very, very challenging for my parents, for both Willie and Margaret.
In New York State, there's very few dedicated sparkling wine producers. Had a lot in common with his dad, Constantine, and tremendous work ethic and boundless enthusiasm, and that was contagious.
He not only created this, and he's a pioneer for the Finger Lakes sparkling wine, but he's always intended for a quality-driven product.
So that's really what makes Chateau Franc unique, is that we do have the ideal environment for the long-term aging.
Historically, the sparkling wines in this area were produced either from the native grape varieties or the French hybrid.
One thing I've learned here, being in the Finger Lakes and starting out with sparkling wine in California, is those differences with not only the acidity but our site. Or to produce a sparkling wine, we have more consistent fruit that you don't have to play around so much with the chemistry.
And so our numbers for the juice and the wine and the grapes are almost identical to what you would find in Champagne, France.
If someone was to go to a retail store and buy our 2009 Blanc de Blanc, they would have no way of knowing how many times I've touched that bottle. The vineyard to the bottle, once it hits that bottle, I'm touching that in every individual bottle over 24 times before the market even receives it. There's just so much labor intensive moving these bottles around from process to process.
I think sparkling wines, especially traditional method sparkling wines, it's a category that's continuing to grow within the U.S. and internationally. And to be at the stage now where there's so much awareness, actually people are asking for Finger Lakes wines. That's what he was working towards, was the awareness of the region, building the reputation.
Willie was really dedicated to quality, as I think all the generations of the Frank family have been and are continuing.
And that's where I think the future is developing our own identity as a Finger Lakes producer of traditional method sparkling wine. So still adhering to the same labor-intensive production methods, but putting our spin on it.
I am very bullish on the capacity of the Finger Lakes producing world-class champagnes, and I could not afford to make a second-class or third-class product.